My daughter is nearly an adult and is applying for colleges. We have a college fund set up for her that we've been adding to since she was an infant. It's a sizable chunk of money, and many donations from family have gone into it, and her own savings occasionally. We've always made it clear that the money is there for college only. She never had to put her savings in there. She has a separate savings account, but did so anyway. Her girlfriend lives in Australia, and they're both huge Supernatural fans. They've both wanted to go to the convention for years, at least 5 that I can remember. 2 of the main guys will be at a convention in Australia. She begged me to let her go. I said no, but the con is set for her after the 18th. I can't stop her if she pays for it. I assumed she'd use her savings. I checked the college account to add some in and noticed a chunk of money missing. I spoke to my daughter about it, and she admitted using the money to pay for the convention. She bought herself plane tickets, her girlfriend's plane tickets, other end of the country, and both of their con tickets, as well as booking a hotel. The con is for 3 or 4 days, but she plans to stay for a couple of weeks and make a vacation out of it. All in all, she's taken about $10K. I lost it, honestly. I demanded she cancel, which fell on deaf ears. I tried to cancel for her, but she won't be refunded everything, so I'm hesitant. She's insisting that it's her money and she can do what she likes with it. She claims she still has enough for college, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I believe this has shown her extreme immaturity and inability to manage her future and money. I'm so furious that she would go and do this. I told her that she could say goodbye to the rest of her college fund and have locked the account. I'm now the only person with access. She said she'll pay it back, but it seems unlikely. My wife thinks I'm being harsh and that she's right. She put at least $5K into that account herself, so she really only took $5K, which my mother-in-law has said since she'll pay back. I think this teaches her she can pay her way out of messes. I was certain of my decision, but everyone was acting like I was the idiot. She's a teenage girl, and her entire life shouldn't revolve around college. I'm still uncertain, so here I am. Am I the idiot? I say not the idiot if you make her pay back the $5K. I don't think she should have had access to withdraw from the funds in the first place, but I guess it was set up in her name and could be withdrawn from at 18. The money was set aside for school, not just for whatever she wanted. I think the rest should stay for school. She's only lost the privilege of unrestricted access to the account. Also, make her pay back any tax penalties that may be incurred due to the funds not being used for college, if this is a proper 529 and not a general savings account. I can't help but note that you, the responsible adult, didn't set up the account with the withdrawal protections you could have. You should have been wise enough to know that a team with free access to that pile of cash shouldn't have access to it without any limits. That in no way excuses your daughter, but it does mean that you should have had more foresight into the folly teens can do. This is the way to go. Never trust kids with the money for college. Pay for it yourself. True story. My brother-in-law pretended he was going to college for almost 3 years and spent the money God knows where. It must have been about 10,000 euros. His mom works in Italy and sent the money from there. So instead of any repayment schedule where she puts the money back into the fund, you'll just screw over her future by withholding all of her college funds? You'll show her who's boss by making her take out student loans that burden and drain her for the next 30 years, even though it's completely unnecessary. And that's only if your draconian response doesn't push her to forego college entirely. Is that good fathering? You're teaching her that there's no point in trying to make good on anything she might have done wrong. After all, there's a perfectly reasonable way out of this, and you're going nuclear for no good reason. You are the idiot, dude. You're being way too unreasonably harsh. But if you want to be one of those parents who end up posting "woe is me" on forums for parents whose children went no contact the moment they left, you're doing great. I, 21 male, have a girlfriend, 25 female. We've been together for 9 months, and the relationship is great. I'm a very chivalrous person, opening doors, walking by the road, giving her my jacket when she's cold, taking her out on dates and such. Recently, I've noticed that she's picked up the habit of intentionally leaving her jacket behind and asking for mine, and not packing ballet flats when we go out. Because of this, I always give her my jacket and shoes when we go out, so I'm cold and barefooted. I would have been carrying her instead, but I have back issues, and putting any form of pressure on my back is not advised. I asked why she stopped bringing those along, and she said she can't find her ballet flats, and she keeps on forgetting her jacket. To avoid this happening again, I bought her a new pair of flats and keep them in my car. It's been raining the past few days, so the weather's been colder than usual. 2 days ago, we went on a date again, and before we left, I reminded her several times to pick up a jacket in case it started raining. Just as we were about to leave, I asked her one more time to pick a jacket, and she said she had it in the car. Fast forward to our date, we were taking a walk when she said her heels were hurting her feet, and she was feeling cold, so she wanted my jacket and shoes. Mind you, it rained a bit while we were on our date, so the grass was wet and muddy. I told her to wait for me on a bench, so I quickly grabbed her shoes and jacket from the car. She was hesitant and insisted she wanted mine, but I told her that hers was in a car, so I'll just grab it so we can both be comfortable. Turns out she had no jacket in the car. I was obviously annoyed at this point, so I called her to come to the car and that we were going home. She was mad at me and said that I was petty for ending a date because of a common jacket. I told her that wasn't the issue, that it was the fact that she had lied about picking up a jacket. Yes, I would have been frustrated if it was a mistake again, but when I realized she did it on purpose, I refused to give in. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It's not just about a jacket and shoes. It's more than that. Selfishness and a lack of care for you, not a good basis for the relationship. If it was a one-time thing, fine, but she actually plans for you to be cold, barefoot, and uncomfortable for her precious convenience. Dump this uncaring brat. Agree. She needs to grow the heck up. A jacket is one thing, on occasion, not all the time, but expecting you to go barefoot so she can wear your shoes because she's either too lazy or manipulative to bring a backup is revolting. She gets off on you sacrificing for her, and it's some pathetic childish high school behavior. Find a girlfriend who has enough sense to bring her own jacket when it's cold, or appropriate shoes for certain occasions, and get rid of this childish woman. My sister is 18, and I'm 26. She's in college and moved out of our parents' house in June. Since then, my sister's gotten a bunch of tattoos. I'm cool with that, but she knows our parents are not, and she decided she was going to flaunt them all at my wedding for the first time, knowing our parents would react badly to them. She didn't stop there, though. She went up to a few anti-tattoo family members and was gloating about getting them too. It ended up in a fight between her, our parents, and a few extended family members. My sister was smirking the whole time. She was so glad she couldn't get under our parents' skin. She never told me a thing about it either. The fighting was so distracting, and she approached me at one point during the reception and asked me why I wasn't standing up for her and talking to her. I was mad. I admit, I was angry. She could have shown them the day before the wedding and let everyone get it out, but she wanted to make sure more people saw and made a bigger scene over it. I kicked several members of the family out of the wedding because they couldn't behave, and I pretty much ignored my sister. She realized this a few days ago and started texting me, asking why I wasn't texting her and why I was being so weird. I ignored her text because I wasn't ready to talk, but she decided to show up Sunday at my house and ask me why. She told me I was treating her like she did something wrong. I told her she did. She knew our family would react badly, and she used my wedding day to have that fight. I told her she had so much time to tell them and let things happen, but she waited so she could take so much attention away from my husband and me on our wedding day. I said the fighting was distracting for so many people. The tension was palpable, and she knew what she was doing. I told her she made me regret inviting any of them, and that included her. She told me I should be mad at our family, not her, that they were always the ones who did the wrong thing. She brought up how once she was born, I was brushed aside, and how it wasn't her fault, but it showed why I should only be mad at our family. I told her she didn't get to draw so much attention to herself intentionally and expect me to be okay with it when it was supposed to be my wedding. You know, one of the happiest days for a couple. She started yelling, telling me I was punishing and blaming her unfairly, and she thought I understood our parents sucked, etc. She sent me several texts yesterday saying I was unfair to her. Am I the idiot? Don't wear white dresses to a wedding. Don't propose at a wedding. Don't make a pregnancy announcement at a wedding. Don't come out at a wedding. Don't bring your dog to a wedding. Don't do anything to take attention away from the bride and groom, or bride and bride. It's their day, not yours. Not the idiot. Your sister was the only person you needed to kick out of the wedding. She started all the unnecessary drama. But what if my dog is invited and I'm the plus one? Imagine getting tattoos with the purpose of making your family angry. She knew exactly what she was doing and how it would play out. It doesn't excuse the behavior of the family members, but she's 100% the idiot. She chose to antagonize family on purpose at your wedding. Actions have consequences. It's not my fault they gave me more attention when I was born. Be mad at them only, even though I pulled a major attention-seeking stunt at your wedding. OP, your sister is spoiled and rebellious and all about herself. You should have given her an analogy that she could understand, something that would have affected the attention on her for her to understand. She's so focused on her issues, she won't see why you're upset. My friend of about 17 years, Delilah, 37, female, had a very problematic childhood. She barely went to school because her only parent was addicted to substances, among many other problems. I don't know how she slipped through the system for so long, but she was pretty much a lost cause by high school because of how little discipline she had. At 23, her dad died, and due to the manner of death, Delilah won a large sum of money. Once she got that money, Delilah chose to go to a community college. She learned to love learning and had so many interests she never knew about that she went to several schools in most of her 20s and came out with several degrees. So my view, I've held my tongue on her wasting so much money on school. If it were my money, I'd want to save it or explore, then get a degree, not go head first. She has 6 degrees, and to me, it's just silly. The real kicker is my husband is an engineer and makes more than she does, despite all her side jobs and projects. We were visiting her, and she mentioned how she wanted to study history and take a class or two online for fun. I laughed and asked if any of her inheritance was still even left. She said that shouldn't be my concern. I admitted it was ridiculous. She could have just bought a nice house with that money instead of blowing it on degrees that she doesn't even use. She told me all her degrees served a purpose. She loves what she does now and loves learning because she was deprived of it as a child. She told me she wouldn't defend herself to someone who didn't grow up in a similar situation. My husband told her to calm down. Everything's now awkward, and I'm unsure if I need to apologize. Am I the idiot? Oh my goodness, you are the idiot. You sound incredibly jealous. I wonder if all this hate and jealousy stems from the fact you didn't get to attend school after high school. You said your husband makes more money than her and not you. So my question is, are you making more money than her? It doesn't matter if she spends her money on drugs or spending it on nothing but shoes and electronics, because guess what? It's her money, and she can do as she pleases with it. What kind of person thinks it's their place to say something like that? You sound miserable and judgmental. OP absolutely needs to apologize. Is she unemployed and homeless? No, she's living life the way she wants, paying the bills and learning the things she wants to learn. It sounds like she's had an awesome life and is making the most of her money in the way that's best for her. You're not her. People have different priorities. Do better. You're failing as a friend. I love how OP mentions her husband's degree and salary, but not her own. She's trying to claim her husband's success as her own. I guess hers isn't much to envy, so she's jealous that her friend got to do what she wanted with her life. You and your husband deserve each other. I can't imagine how insufferable you both are if he told her to calm down after explaining why she's loved her life and finds enjoyment from, gasp, education. You are the idiot, and God have mercy on your petty soul. Guys, this is not 1 degree, or 2, or 3. It's 6. We can all agree that, money or not, getting 6 degrees is pretty ridiculous, especially when there are so many resources out there for learning without an official course. I have a cousin like that. She has 4 degrees, and my parents and I certainly roll our eyes about it occasionally. I would not have blown that much money getting 6 degrees, but that doesn't matter because she's not you or me. You shouldn't have said anything. I, 30 male, live in a major city with my long-term girlfriend, 27. My girlfriend and I live together in a major city to share the cost. I only mention this to provide some information about how much rent cost. While we were both working, I paid 60% of the rent and she paid 40%, with the agreement that I would pay for all dates because I make 30% more than she does. My girlfriend has felt depressed about her career choice, so I suggested that she quit her job and take some classes to gain certifications in a career she would like more. I agreed to pay rent, utilities, pay for her classes, and give her some spending money, $300 a month. I'm lucky in that I work at a good job, so I can eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner for free at work. I've also worked on additional projects so that I can work more hours to support both of us on my salary alone. For the last 6 months, I've clocked in 60+ hours a week. When we were both working, we split chores 50-50. However, I find myself burning out during the week and unable to clean, and on the weekends, she wants to spend Saturday on dates, with us cleaning on Sunday together. We got into a bit of a row because I said that I was dying and I needed a day, Sunday, where I could just be alone or do something with my friends. She said she appreciates my help with her career change, but since we both live in the apartment, we should both clean. I don't think it's fair since she's home much more than I am, and I make almost zero mess because I spend 60+ hours a week at work. She said just living in the house creates a mess, and I should help clean it. Am I the idiot for asking my girlfriend to just clean 100% of the apartment? How much time is she spending on schoolwork? I'm going to guess it's dramatically less than 60 hours a week. It's not about the financial contribution, but the time difference in what you're doing. Not doing anything around the house isn't fair, as in you should pick up after yourself rather than leaving a mess for her to clean up. But definitely, the bulk should fall to her. And having a day to yourself is also totally reasonable. You are not the idiot. Everyone's the idiot here. Do you buy every meal at work? I would imagine you're at least making dirty dishes. Plus, the bathroom needs to be cleaned. Rooms need to be dusted and vacuumed. I agree she should do the vast majority of the cleaning, but you're absolutely making more of a mess than using towels. It's an apartment with 2 grown adults. No pets, no kids. How much is there to clean? A vacuum, quick, tidy bathroom, and kitchen wipe down should take at most an hour a week. I've been married for over 20 years, and I've done stretches of 100% of the chores. I've done stretches of 50%, etc. You support your partner in what they need at the moment. This shouldn't be triggering or about fairness. It's about how you can best support your partner. And sometimes that involves picking up the chores, slack, when asked. I bet you money that if OP was a female working 60 hours to support their boyfriend and asking him to clean as they pay for everything, The comments would be filled to the brim with asking to leave the dropkick. The amount of gender bias is insane.